The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
Pompey Sound understands, as of mid to late afternoon Wednesday, that Callum Lang will be out for at least 4 weeks, possibly 8, with 6 weeks being the likeliest point of his return, notwithstanding that there's an element of bluff. We're awaiting confirmation, but decided to publish because our source is very good. If true, it's a blow for Lang himself, of course, but equally a blow to club and fans. Lang remains one of Fratton's favourite players, effective and capable in every department, including scoring hatfuls of goals. The prolonged absence of Pompey's premier right-sided attacking midfielder places the club in a difficult position. As of Saturday against West Brom, unless a replacement is found by midday on Friday, which is the cut-off point for registering a new player for Saturday, the slot will either go to Adrian Segacic, who will be moved to the right, leaving the number 10 slot vacant, or to bring in Matt Ritchie. The latter solution would challenge John Messino, since he's indicated that Ritchie is free to leave. However, since the decision to let Ritchie go is based on the probability that he's unlikely to make many starts, it could be that Messino's hand is played for him by the Lang injury, and Ritchie turns into an invaluable asset. Other options include switching Bianchini to the right, an option that's compromised by the fact that the Frenchman has yet to exert himself in a blue shirt, or promote Zach Swanson from second-choice right-back to occasional right-sided midfield player, but for whom starting so high up the pitch could result in a nosebleed. Assuming our information is correct, watch this space as the story unfolds.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable of us to both broadcast or publish or download or whatever this story because our source is very good, but it hasn't been confirmed anywhere else yet. And when I say yet, this is early evening now on Wednesday. If there's been no confirmation come Thursday, then you can probably take it, and we will take it, that our information was slightly wide of the mark. However, we thought it was important to bring it to you just as soon as we had it, because it's a big story. It's not the end of the world. It's not the worst news you could possibly get. But on a scale of 1 to 10 of bad news, it's definitely a 6, possibly a 6.5. Some, of course, will make it a 9.5, and there will be much wailing and gnashing of teeth. We have to remember that he's our first choice attacking right-sided midfield player because of the fantastic job that he did against Oxford, which had John Messino purring and saying that it was his way of getting two of his best players, attacking players, Segacic and Lang, on the pitch at the same time together. So it's real testament to how versatile a player like Lang is, that he is able to switch to what is not his preferred position and virtually run the game, be man of the match. Now, if Segacic moves out to the right, will we lose something because he is so good in front of goal? But then again, he is also very good coming in from the wing, and he has the he can take people on, and he can get crosses in. And if Josh gets going down the left, then Segacic can get in the box and increase our chances of Josh, if he crosses, finding a blue shirt. So the options are there. We have strength in depth. We have plenty of versatile players who can start in more than one position and who can switch into a different position during the course of the game if that's what the manager wants. So we can see what kind of a squad the manager is building. But he's just not getting the throw of the dice. We're not getting the throw of the dice. I've phoned home and said to Mrs. Boyd, going to be a little bit late because there's a breaking story. What's that? She said. I said, looks as though Callum Lang might be out for a couple of months. And she said, oh dear, last year, this time it was Colby Bishop, wasn't it? So she's beginning to pick up on the vibes that I think every Pompey fan is coming home with after work or school or the pub these days, which is that we are not getting the throw of the dice when it comes to injuries. There are players who would have been equally missed if they sustained an early injury that put them out for months rather than weeks. But Lang is right up there. Right up there. And we saw the effect of coming back to the team that Colby Bishop had last season. We were two teams. And it's conceivable that the absence of Lang for 4, 6, 8 weeks, you just don't know. I'm beginning to wonder whether the medics know. Some human bodies are quite quick to repair. Others, the older they get with footballers, the longer it can take. So we just don't know. But that absence could mean that we will be further down the table in 6 to 8 weeks' time than we would have been if we hadn't received this news. So I'm going to say this. I hope it's not true. I hope we've made an error. I hope we've made a plonker. I hope we got this one wrong, and that we're going to have to apologise, as you should, and say that we're pleased to say that Callum Lang is going to be fit for West Brom. We doubt it, don't we? Josh Murphy is putting a positive spin on the Norwich result, saying this.
I believe we can build something really special this season. We can give any team in this division a really good game, and probably, with a bit more belief like in the second half against Norwich, we can win games home and away. The squad is good, there is competition everywhere, and we probably want to make a couple more signings. But you can see from the Oxford game and the second half on Saturday, we are in a much better position than we might have been last year. It feels we are a bit more stable, especially with the centre-backs in Shocks and Regan. We are a lot more stable going into matches. Barring the 2 goals conceded on Saturday, we're a lot more comfortable. It's about building, and, in this division, it is about momentum. If we can keep building on that second half against Norwich, it can be a good season. We look a lot more settled.
Yeah, it's a timely reminder, isn't it, after the cold shower, which was Pompey 1, Norwich 2, that the consensus seemed to be, going into our first game and coming out of our first game against Oxford, that we are indeed a lot stronger than we were last season. And we managed to finish what lots of people call a comfortable, was it 16th or 17th? But, well, then, 2 games to go, we were safe. And so that qualifies as comfortable as far as a number of onlookers are concerned. We survived, and that's the main thing. And the hope is that we're a better squad this season than we were last season, and that we'll survive even better. And a respectable mid-table place is possibly ours, not for the taking, because we've got to go out and earn it. But anyway, it's not inspirational. I don't think I think it falls short of inspirational words from Josh Murphy. I think what you've got is a resolute reminder that we're in a pretty good place, and we shouldn't forget that. The defeat was a bitter pill to swallow against Norwich, but he reminds us how well we played as the game grew, as it went on and on. We didn't hit the ground running in the 46th minute, but we grew in that second half, and the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes totally belonged to us, and we could have scored 3 or 4 and deserved to score 3 or 4, and we mustn't forget those things. But one thing I want to say is that Josh Murphy reminds us that the club are looking for a couple more players. And this dovetails nicely into what was being said in one of our news pieces earlier, suggesting that all the Indian signs point to that fact, that we are looking for an attacking right-sided midfield player. And we may well be, in fact almost certainly are, in negotiation with at least one club for the services of such a player, and that Eric Eisner has said that John Messina has got money to spend. And just the last thing I want to point out is that some Pompey players get nicknames, affectionate nicknames, and other names you can't attach a nickname to. So Shocknessy is Shocks. That's an easy one, isn't it? And I noticed that Segacic is now Segs. Again, that's an easy one, isn't it? But you've got to feel for the likes of Conor Ogilvie and Regan Poole. There's not a lot you can do to shorten those names. There is no diminution of Poole. He doesn't want to be called Pooley, does he? Or Regs. Maybe Regs? I don't know. It sounds a little bit like Reg, and that's a slightly 50s name. And the same with Conor Ogilvie. Ogs? That doesn't work. I don't know why, but certain names don't lend themselves to that kind of diminution. And cons, wow, it sounds just like pros and cons, doesn't it? Or convict. So it's interesting to see. John Messina went through a spell of being nicknamed the Moose by his contemporaries, I think at Oxford and elsewhere. but it hasn't caught on round here just yet, but it might. Who else? Colby Bishop. You can't do anything with that. Kolbs, that's silly. Bish, the Bish, nah. So let's see. I wonder what they're going to do with our Hungarian. Notice how I sidestepped making a pig's ear of pronouncing that. We'll get there. We'll get there once we know what it is officially. So just a little tidbit to tag on to some valuable words from Josh Murphy about the state of our squad. Well done, Josh. Football League World has been taking stock of where Pompey are at right now.
Portsmouth's start to their championship campaign has been a bit of a rollercoaster so far, after spending last season finding their feet back in the second tier, where they managed to stay up thanks largely to their strong home form at Fratton Park. They've been busy this summer trying to strengthen the squad. They've brought in 6 new faces, including permanent deals for John Swift, Mark Kosnovsky, Luke Leroux and Adrian Segacic, plus loan moves for Florian Bianchini and Yang Min Hyuk. The season started brightly with a 1-0 win at Oxford, but things have taken a turn since then. They crashed out of the EFL Cup to League One Reading and then fell to Norwich City at home in the league. While they nearly snatched a point late on against Norwich, the defeat highlighted their need for more reinforcements before the window shuts, especially out wide after Callum Lang picked up a hamstring injury. One player who won't be coming back is Abu Kamara. He was brilliant for Pompey last season, while on loan from Norwich, becoming a real fan favourite with 10 goals and 11 assists as they won promotion. Manager John Massinio wanted him back, but Hull City snapped him up for around £5 million, way out of Portsmouth's price range. Now it looks like Kamara is heading to Spanish side Getafe, ending Pompey's hopes of a reunion. But it's not all doom and gloom. New signing Adrian Segacic has hit the ground running since arriving from Sydney FC. He's already netted twice in 3 games, and looks like he could be the next crowd favourite at Fratton Park. The Australian youngster bagged 18 goals in 35 games last season down under, and early signs suggest he'll be a real asset as Portsmouth look to establish themselves in the Championship.